Hi everyone, I'm Pratish Pade from Educational Series. Today I have come up with a new topic, Class 9th, the fundamental unit of life, cell. So let's start this amazing video. So before moving on, please like and subscribe my channel and don't forget to click the bell icon segment below to get regular updates of my videos. So here are what is the cell? Now cells are the building blocks of life. Every human or every animal which we can see through our naked eyes are made up of cells, millions and billions of cells. When the starting of the life on the earth started, when the oceans and there was comets, when the earth was hot, and then some single cell organisms came out from, such as bacteria and amoeba. These animals were there and are there till the present, which do all their body functions using only one cell, such as eating, breathing, moving, excretion, digestion, and all these they do. All the visual life functions, they do from that one single cell. Unlike them, us humans, animals, plants have a lot of cells who together cooperate to form and work the human body. So now, cells were discovered by Robert Hooke in 1665, which are categorized as building blocks of life. He saw in 1665, for a long time back, he saw there's some beehives like structures, we can say like this structures, hexagon structures he saw under a microscope made by him in 1665, and he categorized them as small compartments, small house or cell. So there what the word cell started, and they were, after many scientists came together and they gave us cell theory, which comprises that all the living organisms are made up of cells. The human body have millions of cells which cooperate to form do visual life functions, and there are also single cell organisms such as protozoa, bacteria, amoeba, and all the viruses and all of organisms. And also organisms organisms can be classified into two parts: unicellular and multicellular. Unicellular, those who have only single cell and do all the visual life process from that, and multicellular are the organisms which have a lot of cells that cooperate to form their visual life functions. Also, now let's learn about them more. Okay, so to know how to understand better how our cell groups to form in a multicellular organism, so we can say, suppose this is a human body. I hope you can see it. This is a human body, and it is made up of lot of organs such as our stomach. Our human body is made up of lot of organs. These are, suppose it's an organ, but it doesn't look like one. And so these organs are made up of tissues. What are tissues? Tissues are the clusters of cells. Tissues are cluster of cells, and these tissues are formed by cells. So cell is the building blocks, and a lot of cells come together to form the human body. And this cell groups into tissues, then they group into organs, and organs work out together to make the amazing human body. Now let's see more about unicellular and multicellular organisms. Okay, let's proceed. Unicellular organisms. Let's say unicellular organisms. So unicellular organisms are the organisms which do all their functions such as digestion, excretion, and all the functions through their single cell. So these organisms, for example, Chlamydomonas, or we can say it as Chlamydomonas, and Paramecium and amoeba are the examples. Here you can see the amazing GIF of amoeba, where you can see the object is moving. It is a very small, but we have who are shown here the magnified view. Here it's all the parts of the amoeba, and it uses pseudopodia or the false leg to move forward. As the leg comes out and from the back, it moves in the front and it crawls up and the back comes up out. So examples are Chlamydomonas and Paramecium. These also are found in the marine regions. Multicellular organisms. Now, multicellular organisms are the organisms that have a lot of cells which cooperate to form a human body or an animal body, which can be seen with naked eyes. So, this cell, as you can see, a leaf, a plant of leaf, or this human being, it is all and all are made up of thousands and millions of cells. So, these all labels were formed by the difference function is divided between the various cell in the organisms. Now, unlike the organisms such as amoeba, which have only one cell, these human body have a lot of cell and various type of cell. Every type of cell is given its own kind of work according to its capacity, and these all cooperate to form systems, organs, tissues, then the organs, then the organ system, and these organ system combine to make the human body working. I am speaking, you are listening, or you are writing, and all these are the functions done with the help of our cells. Basically, all what we do is a part of the labor of cells. And also, this I have told you have different kind of cells for human beings, and this all I have told you. You can see this kind of honeycomb structures. This was what first observed by Robert Hooke as a cell. So, structure of a cell. Now, cells are made up of components called cell organs. Now, these cell organelles are the parts of a cell. The cell is very small. Then, using electron microscope, if we zoom a lot, then we can even see inside a cell what are the components of cell. So, that is what we learn in the later parts of the chapter. So, a cell is capable to live, perform and perform all the vital functions that are necessary for the body to function, and this kind of cell is example of what is amoeba and paramecium and bacteria and viruses. So, all cells have same cell organelles irrespective of their function and organisms they are found. Let it be a bone cell, a nerve cell, or any other cell. It just means that suppose any kind of cell, bone cell, nerve cell, any cell you have in the body, they have the same cell organelles. Despite of their function, the parts of the cell remain same. And all will have these components. These components are cell wall, plasma membrane or cell membrane. The cell wall is in plants, while the plasma membrane is in of animals. Say no, animals only the cell wall is absent, but in plants, for extra protection from the harsh environment, in addition to the plasma membrane, there is also extra hard covering called cell wall. And there is nucleus in a cell. Then comes cytoplasm, which is the jelly-like substance on which the organelles float, and then the endoplasmic reticulum, which has two parts: smooth endoplasmic reticulum and rough endoplasmic reticulum. Then Golgi apparatus, lysosomes, then mitochondria, plastids, and vacuoles. Vacuoles are the place for storing food and water. Let's see each of them by detail. Here we come up to plasma membrane. So, plasma membrane is the outermost area or the outermost layer in animal cell, and the second outermost layer after the plant, after that cell wall in plant cells. So, now let's see how does this plasma membrane works. as now it's the outermost cell, and it is a semi-permeable membrane. It means that it allows only some particles which it recognizes to move in and out the cell. For example, water and oxygen and carbon dioxide, these are all inside and outside the cell. So this only oxygen, water and the components needed by the cell which are recognized by the, because all the things needed are recognized by the plasma membrane. So that plasma membrane only allows those kind of things to enter, and only which are not required to those kind of things to exit the cell. While some animals, dust, sorry, not animals, bacteria, dust, these all are not allowed inside the cell. So now third thing, that now suppose think in this, you can see these things are allowed inside. Now you can see there's some purple like thing outside and some purple like thing inside, but now this thing is not being allowed through the plasma membrane by the cell, but it is useful for the cell because it is inside, or there are some fibers which are at that moment required, which are not recognized by the plasma membrane. So there are some receptors, AC2 receptors, or some chemicals which are recognized by the plasma membrane, and their function is to seek out the cell and then grab the things which are required by the cell but not identified by the plasma membrane and take them in. And plasma membrane allows it because it knows the chemicals or the receptors. So this way, some particles which are needed at that moment and not recognized by the plasma membrane can also be identified. This is all I have told you. Sorry for the disturbance. There was some old guy passing by. So now let's see how semi-permeable works in from lower concentration to higher concentration to lower concentration. Suppose there is a beaker here, a big beaker here, and inside it is the semi-permeable membrane. The semi-permeable membrane, let me change the color. So now here there is a lot of air outside. Suppose this is outside and this is outside and this is inside. There is a lot of air outside, but there is very less air inside. For example, see, this is, suppose it's an animal cell. There is a lot of O2 or oxygen inside, but very less oxygen outside, but very less oxygen inside. Now in the animal cell, oxygen is very essential. So now the semi-permeable membrane allows the air to come inside so that they both get balanced, and also as the higher concentration flows to lower concentration, so after some time a semi-permeable membrane allows, and what happens that they both have and they both get an equal amount of air. So they both get an equal amount of air. Then this was movement of air from higher concentration to lower concentration. It is called diffusion. Hi Kiyansh. And the movement of higher concentration to lower concentration is called diffusion of air, while their osmosis, which is the movement of higher concentration of water to lower concentration. Let's see it, then I'll tell you. So let's again consider we have a beaker with a semi-permeable membrane. So now suppose there is a lot of water outside and there is very less water inside, or suppose there is very more water inside because water is not used and there is a lot of water plumped inside the cell, and now because it's so much water, then it has to remove some water. So what happens, this is H2O, and this is H2O here also. This is also H2O, this is also H2O. It's very less. The H2O here is very less in outside, and now the water inside the cell is got plump. So now the semi-permeable membrane allows water to flow inside and outside of the cell, which makes it equal after some time. So this is called osmosis. And what reverse osmosis is what on principle on which RO works, and the full form the reverse form of RO is full form of RO is reverse osmosis, means the opposite of what happens here. It's not in your syllabus, you will learn in later classes. So now let's just proceed on with the chapter, the more cell organelles. Now cell wall. So what is cell wall? Cell wall is found in plant. First of all, it's a very important part that it's not found in animal cells. It's only found in plant cells. Now this cell wall is a very tight and very strong defense wall which does not allow harsh conditions to affect the cell. For example, when it's raining, or it's very cold, or it's very hot, or it's very windy, then you go inside a house and you stay protected. An animal hides somewhere because it can move. But what about plants? They cannot move. They have to just stay in the position where they are, and the heat and rain, these harsh conditions can damage them. They can die. So this added structure known as cell wall is there on the plant surface, on the plant's outermost. Before semi-permeable membrane, there is a cell wall which protects the cell. For you can see here, this is the cell. So now let's proceed with the another cell organelle, cytoplasm. Now cytoplasm, it's a jelly-like watery substance made up of water, salt and some chemicals. As you can see here, all the parts of the cell float in this jelly-like. It surrounds the nucleus, or we can say it surrounds the whole cell. Means the place it's filled with fluid. The cell is filled with fluid called cytoplasm, in which it's jelly-like sticky substance in which all the substances float, and also that makes a protective cover of the nucleus. It is surrounded by cell membrane. For cell membrane, then comes the cytoplasm in which all these float. And the nucleus cell surrounded by the cytoplasm, I have already told you. It's not a difficult thing, it's just very easy to learn. Jelly-like substance on which all the things float. Simple. Now nucleus. Nucleus is small but very vital part of a cell. It contains genetic material, DNA, or we can say double helix, which we say. Double helix is all the genetic information of reproducing, making more cells, on how cell divides, mitosis, meiosis, and in the next upcoming video after this will be of cell division. But that cell to divide has to divide from the DNA, and that DNA, which is very visual, very important for our body, because that has genetic information to pass on to other cells. When our body started, there was only one cell, and it reproduced and got more and it became a whole human body. So now nucleus, how did it happen? It happened from the DNA, the information stored in the DNA, how to reproduce. It's like a book which tells the cell how to reproduce or make more cells. So that DNA is stored in the nucleus, as you can see in this very good GIF. This is DNA or double helix which is stored in the nucleus, and around it is the endoplasmic reticulum, which are all floating in the cytoplasm. And also it controls cell growth, because it develops all the development, growth, brain functioning, if when to do this work, when to check how to treat if a cell, part of a cell is damaged, growth. It's just like a brain of the cell, and all the work are done by this nucleus, and which is processed by the this DNA, which we can say that the nucleus is the computer and this is the software. So it has a nuclear membrane or a dual layer which surrounds it, and it's all what I have told you. I have told you, chromatin, which is some part of a resting stage where it's relaxed, and just all I have told you. Let's proceed on with the nucleus. Just to remember, a small round membrane bond which is like the brain of the cell. Now let's proceed. Okay, so now the another part 2 of nucleus. So chromatin contains DNA. It's a part under the nucleus which contains DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid, or it's double helix, and RNA, ribonucleic acid. RNA and DNA also are very vital for food and growth, for the processing food and for growth. It's like the brain. Now you can say the brain does not digest, but it gives command for all the cell works in the cell. Now nucleus contains some rod-shaped structures that contain hereditary information. They are chromosomes. Now chromosomes are the tightly packed DNA. So DNA, which are very important, are very small. These are tightly packed with some protein balls, and they're tightly packed, and they condense to form chromosomes, which are some X-like structure. These are chromatids, which are joined together by this center part, which let's see on the white screen, and then we'll come back to this. Okay, so here I will draw it. Here only I will draw it. So here so it's just like nothing but a X-shaped thing, which is bound by a centromere at the center. More about cells, these chromosomes and what they are used for, we'll learn in the upcoming video, which will be about cell division. So rest, which is nothing but I have told you, human has 23 pair of sex chromosomes. A boy has X chromosome and 1 Y. Now there are 23 pair of sex chromosomes in a human body, on which 22 are for something else, while there are 2 sex chromosomes, or which are used for gametes, or which are used for the selection of gender. For example, a boy has a X and Y chromosome. The last pair of chromosomes has the genetic information. The X and Y chromosome, a boy has an X and Y, while a girl has the pair is of X and X chromosome. X and Y are just nothing, you will learn in that video, but this I will give you a recap that X and Y chromosomes are a part of chromosomes which determine gender. The nucleus of a cell divides itself to give rise to new offsprings. All the part of cell division, we learn this in the cell division chapter. Please watch that video, it's very visual. So now this was all in this video. Now let's see the ending. This was all in this video. Please like and subscribe my channel, and don't forget to click the bell icon somewhere below to get regular updates of my videos. Thanks for watching, and bye. Stay curious.